Okay. Ready to do it?
Let's do this.
Okay. Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the RPG After Years, your weekly show covering all things RPGs, past, present, and future. I'm Scott.
And I'm Rich.
This is episode 25. No Jay today. He had to go to a wedding.
Womp, womp, womp.
But regardless, it was a big week for RPG news. We had a Nintendo Direct Mini, an Xbox Game Showcase, and other random happenings. So much so that we decided to dedicate an entire episode to rounding it all up. But before all that, let's catch up. Rich, you have been quiet this week. I don't even have any idea what you've been up to. Why don't you go into that?
Well, okay. So yes, I've been on vacation, so I've been just kind of quiet and doing a lot of self-reflection. Not really, but just quiet. I played a little bit of Tales of Berseria, so Jay will be happy with that. Maybe like 2 hours of that.
You were very proud of that. You even used the show account to tweet your play.
I played a little bit of Final Fantasy X, probably about 4 or 5 hours into that. I just got, let's see, where the heck am I? I'm getting ready to the Battle of Operation Mihin. Yeah, that one. There's some weird really words in that name.
That's a really cool part of the game, though.
Yes, if I remember that correctly, it is really good. Played a little bit of
very
5.
Sad part too.
Yeah, it's very sad. I played a Final Fantasy 5 for a little bit.
Where are you in that?
I think I passed the Siren.
The Siren. Oh, so
yeah, and the Pirate.
That's the ship graveyard. That's where you said you were last week.
Then where am I at? Am I still there?
Okay. Are you sure you played it this week?
I don't think I did. Well, I did play it over the weekend before, so maybe that's why.
Womp womp. Man,
yeah, I didn't play
JRPG. July is almost over.
I'm just not having. I don't know what the deal is. Played a little bit of Pokemon Soul.
Soul Silver.
No, not Soul Silver. Silver, just Silver, not Soul Silver.
Okay.
The original.
So how far are you?
And I'm still I beat the first gym. So very very early on.
You're getting like micro progress here.
Yeah, I know. I think I'm turning into you. Just a little bit of here, a little bit there.
Yeah.
And I think. Oh, and I did play Master Chief Collection on my computer. So I've been playing some Halo.
Nice. That's very relevant considering what we're going to be discussing today.
Yes, I've been playing. I played a bunch of multiplayer, and I didn't get a controller, so I've been playing mouse and keyboard. But my buddy gave me an Xbox controller, so I have one of those now. But when I was playing the keyboard, it's really weird that there's still a lot of toxic people out there, because I could hear a guy just pretty much bitching that his team all sucked, and he was telling everybody that they should stop playing and give this game up. It's not for you. You suck. It's just the whole time. And I'm like, oh, cool. So yes, I know I'm on your team and I suck, but it's just a game.
Yeah, dude. I think Halo is fun. I do enjoy playing Halo, but I suck ass. Like, you do not want me on your team.
I would pick you. Don't worry, I'd pick you.
Oh, thanks, man. And then we could suck together.
Yes, right. It's just hilarious that people still take it that seriously. And I was good at the game a long time ago, but as my age comes out, that my hand-eye coordination reaction time is pretty low. It's like, oh, I should turn around. There's a guy shooting me in the back. So But other
I
than
have
that,
a
that's it.
I have a couple buddies that are really good at it, and they used to like spend their youth playing it. And every now and then I'll be like, I'll jump on with them, but it's always a shit show.
I mean, I enjoyed it. I had a great time playing that stuff. I
Yeah,
played that a lot with buddies of mine when we were younger, but now it's like we don't play that anymore. I just happened to find it on sale. Or did I have it on sale? Anyways, found it, played it on Steam, and just ticked around with it. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of fun. I remember playing this stuff. This is nostalgia. Oh God, I suck. So,
right.
but that's all I've been playing this week. So nothing too crazy. So yeah,
Gotcha.
what about you?
All right. So for me, still doing Ring Fit Adventure. Um,
Naturally.
Still in World 20. No, nothing really to report there. I've gotten to where I like only play it like once a week instead of twice. Um, Mostly because it's sunny out now, and like I would like to I have to actually go outside for cardio a lot of times. So, um, of course,
Cardio.
people are stupid. Like, uh, so yesterday, this is totally unrelated to what video games I've been playing, by the way, but it's a fun story, sort of.
Go for
I
it.
I parked at a church. It's like a mega church, but it's right next to like a greenway, like a sidewalk that I can go on like walks and runs on.
Okay.
And this like dude like walks right up to me out of nowhere. He's like this younger looking like sort of hickish dude, and he asks if I can give him a ride to the Pilot, which is like a gas station chain, in case you weren't aware.
Yes, I've heard of
um,
those. We have them in Missouri.
yeah. But it was only a couple minutes up the road, but it caught me so off guard. My initial was like sure. And then of course you never you never want to do that, but then like he came so close to me, like closer than 6 feet. I was like, whoa buddy, back up. And when he did that, that made me realize like, oh shit, if I give you a ride, you're gonna have to get in the car with me, and that's definitely not social distancing. So I was like, sorry pal.
Yeah. I mean, was he wearing a mask or anything?
Oh.
Okay, so yeah,
I
definitely
had one
no.
on, but also I was shirtless, so I just found the whole situation weird.
Maybe he was
Got
attracted to you.
Hey, I wouldn't blame him. No,
He was
I'm
like,
just kidding.
hey.
But yeah, that was a whole thing. Uh, and then nobody else running on the trails or anything is wearing masks, of course, and all that. But anyway, so Corey and I have continued to play New Super Mario Brothers U. We were in the secret world, which is like the sort of final part of the game, and we played like 4 stages, and then I forgot to save, so we had to replay them, and Corey was very upset with me. Um,
How
but
dare you?
we did end up finishing the secret world, so we are completely done with New Super Mario Brothers U. And
Nice.
I won't play the the beat game jingle, since I did it last week when we saw credits.
Disappointed.
Speaking of losing save progress, we've also been playing Persona 5 Royal.
Uh-oh.
We're in the final palace from the original story, the cruise ship palace, and Corey lost like 3 or 4 hours of progress when he got one shotted by a boss, and if Joker dies, you instantly game over.
That's crazy. I forgot about that. I forgot if he dies, you're pretty much, that's it. You're done.
It's really
So
dumb.
that's dumb.
Yeah, because if your party, it's just like Final Fantasy 13, where if your party members die, it's fine, but if you die, then fuck, you're fucked.
Yeah.
um,
Whoever decided that mechanic was just terrible.
I agree. I see a lot of people saying Persona 5 is too easy, but I disagree.
What?
Yeah, but
It's just too long.
We did play again yesterday, and he caught back up to where he was, and then some. So I imagine we'll have the original story beaten next week. Maybe we'll see.
Holy crap.
And we did manage to successfully unlock the 3rd semester, I think. So we're good on that. We're at 130 something hours. So
That just hurts.
right.
I don't know. It hurts me.
Yeah. When we review it, I think Corey's going to ding it just for how easy it is to lose progress, because we've lost a lot of time.
There's no autosave feature on that game? If we've talked about it before, right?
No, there's not. I think when you are outside of the palaces, it might autosave every now and again, but definitely not when you're inside. So
that's crap.
Yeah. Also, still been playing God of War 2018, and this surprised even me. We beat it. What? That's not replacing our old games beaten jingle, but I think last week Jay said we should get the Beat It Michael Jackson thing as a drop. So there's that.
Yes. They caught me off guard. I'm like, oh, I gotta dance to that.
Well, the end of the game caught me off guard because last week we had beaten Baldur, who is the final boss, which I did not realize at the time. So we stopped like somewhere between the final boss and the actual end of the game. Because there's one more chapter after that, but that chapter is basically literally go to this place and then you get some cutscenes and you're done. So overall, I did enjoy it. I think the game is a little overhyped in my opinion. It's not I don't think it was even game of the year that year. But it was a fun experience overall. And
I think it was probably because it was. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was like, probably because it was overhyped because it looks so good is the reason behind it. But and it's a God of War title. It's a PlayStation exclusive, so that's probably why.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember what else came out that year. I'll try to look that up on the side. But when you do beat it, it does unlock 2 new realms. So we're still going to keep playing it for now just to explore those new locations. Another thing, we started Xenoblade Chronicles. Story-wise, we just left Colony 9 after it was attacked. So still early in the game. But
I think that's where I'm at.
Oh, really?
I think so.
I can already see how this game could be very addicting. I'm not crazy about the battle system so far, but I think it might grow on me. And the story has been decent so far. Like a lot of the shit that happened when the colony was under attack, like I was shocked by some interesting twists right from the get-go.
Oh, yeah.
And then finally, Final Fantasy V for JRPG July. Making some good progress. I keep running into roadblocks, though. Like I spent a day or two trying to beat this super boss, the Gill Turtle, in the second world. So I had to grind for a long time to actually be able to swing that. But last night, I just got to the Merged World, which is the third world. So I think I'm not going to finish it in time for JRPG July, obviously, but it's going to be pretty close. I think I'm the farthest ahead as far as that goes. You already said where you're at, and
I'm way behind.
Jay's not that far ahead of you. He's still in Karnak Castle because he couldn't escape. The boss there kept defeating him. So he's raging at that, and it's taken like Bill's and mine concerted effort to get him to not quit. So, but yeah. So hopefully you guys will pick up the pace in that. And next week, I think we're going to try to at least start the God of War review.
Nice.
On the main show, since it's sort of an RPG. I would not say it is, but close enough. But yeah, that's it for me. So let's just keep at it, Rich. But for now, let's shift focus to the save state of the podcast. All right, guys, the RPG After Years has a pretty baller Patreon for you all. Rich, why don't you tell us about it?
All right, Patreon. Like we tell you guys every week, early episode access, ad-free episodes, the Aftercast, which I'm really digging the Aftercast and things that we talk about there. Extra reviews that aren't part of the main show. So your non-RPG stuff, we have the Super Mario review. I think you've done the Mario reviews.
Yep.
Just random reviews that we have. So it's pretty good. RPG Club nominations and voting and more. You can find that at patreon.com/RPG After Years.
Yep.
A lot of good stuff there.
And like Rich just said, the $5 and up, you get to nominate and vote on the winner of RPG Club, which we'll talk about a little bit more in just a bit.
Yes, I didn't get too deep
had
into that.
An Aftercast all about streaming go live this week. So that's up there now for patrons. And we also have a review for Yoshi's Crafted World on the Switch going live this week.
Boom.
And speaking of streaming, we've got something exciting to talk about. I think
yes,
we got a good segue there.
We do. Look at that. And we have transitioned from YouTube to Twitch. We decided as a collective that Twitch would be a better platform for us to stream our episodes to. A lot more of the gaming community is on Twitch. They can actually, a lot of our listeners know Twitch and actually can get on it and see it. Plus, it's easier probably to communicate with you guys live when the episodes go out. And YouTube is just crap, in my opinion.
Well, formerly it was a Patreon benefit that you could participate live and see the video version of the episode through an unlisted YouTube link that we've shared with the patrons. But now, like Rich said, we have transitioned to Twitch. It's open to everybody. We think it'd be more fun to interact with you guys live, and it's just I'm excited about it. I was honestly shocked that I got it to work so quickly when I was messing around with the Zoom settings. But yeah, so you can find all that at twitch.tv/RPG After Years. Okay, next subject of discussion, hashtag JRPG July. That is coming to a close rapidly. Rich and I have already sort of shared our progress on that, but I think on the next episode, we'll dedicate a segment just like JRPG July in review. So you guys have very little time left. When does this episode come out? What day is it? Thursday?
I don't know. Calendars pulling up the 30th.
Yes. So July will not be over yet when this releases, but everybody make a final push. Just because July is ending doesn't mean you have to end your you don't have to end your JRPG July.
Right. It could be December and you're still in July. JRP July, like me.
Right.
Yeah.
And then finally, we talked about this last week, but we are doing a new segment of the show called RPG Club. It's basically like a book club for RPGs. So how it's going to work is the patrons and the hosts are going to each nominate an RPG for us to play, and then we all vote on it. And then we'll break that game down into like 6-hour-ish chunks to get through in 2-week segments, because we're going to do the segment every other week instead of the catch-up segment. So we've gone through all that bureaucracy, and the winner is hang on, I have a drop I want to use for this if I can find it. Wild Arms.
Surprising. It's actually really surprising.
I'm happy with it. I would have preferred a newer game because there's a couple people in our group like Corey and Lauren that don't really like old games, so I doubt they'll participate.
How dare them?
But I mean, that is the core base of our show, is the retro RPG fans. So yeah, it was very close between that and Tales of Vesperia, I believe. That's what it came down to at the end. So yeah, so start playing that ASAP. Officially, we start on August 2nd, but you can go ahead and start whenever. We're going to try to get to the end of the return to Port Timney, which is right before you get to Sand River, by August 9th. I am unfamiliar with the game, but Colin tells me that's a good stopping point for part 1. So thank you, Colin, for helping get that together. We have it all broken down. So the idea is we're not going to play past that point until we talk about it on the show. So yeah, everybody, you have until August 9th to get to that point, which is right before you get to Sand River. Sound good, Rich?
Sounds good to me, because I have no idea about that game.
Yeah, I don't think any of Bill said he played it a long, long time ago, but he doesn't remember anything about it. So it should be interesting for us all to sort of experience this fresh together.
Yes, I have it on the Vita.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, is it on the PSN?
Yep.
Oh, sweet. That's how I'm going to play it then.
There you go.
Cool. I thought I was going to have to like emulate that junk or buy a physical version or something.
Nope. It is on the PSN network.
Awesome. I'll probably play it on PS3 then, since my Vita is passed away. Sad. Anyway, with all that out of the way, let's move on to the news.
Hear ye, gather round for all your news. Stop your clatter and listen close. Alas, you won't believe your ears. Listen close for the news.
Holy shit, this was a huge week in news. like I said at the beginning, we sort of had a Nintendo Direct Mini, which gave us some big news. We had an Xbox Games Showcase that had a surprising amount of RPG related news. And on top of all that, there was just like random big news stories dropping throughout the week. So as I was creating the doc, it was just like, man, this is enough to probably fill a whole episode. And especially since we didn't have Jay, I was like, that's probably a good idea. Jay, he, like I said, he had to go to a wedding. Just a quick clarifier, though, he did not actually attend the wedding. It was only his wife that went there because she was a bridesmaid. Why are you getting married in this pandemic, people? I don't understand. But anyway, okay, so the first major thing that dropped was the Nintendo Direct Mini. It was like an 8 to 10 minute showcase of just some development partners, some third parties, what they're working on for the Switch. And the big thing was at the end. So first off, they revealed Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne and HD remaster for the Switch. And apparently that is also coming to PS4, and that will be in spring 2021. And I don't know much about the Shin Megami Tensei series. Have you ever played even one besides maybe a Persona?
No.
Me either. But apparently that's one of the better ones in the series from what I understand. I also understand that it's apparently hard as fuck.
Oh, good. Awesome. I like that.
But on top of that, Shin Megami Tensei 5 was revealed, which is apparently a new game in the series. And apparently this was announced as one of like the first, it was like one of the first games announced for the Switch. So it's been so long now that I just totally forgotten about it.
Wait, what? Seriously?
Yeah, apparently. So I think Dragon Quest XI-S was the very first game announced for Switch at the time, known as NX.
Oh.
Remember that?
I don't remember, like when the Switch Lite came out or when the Switch?
Before even the Switch came out.
Oh, damn.
The code name was NX.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got a little blurb here about Shin Megami Tensei 5. The next numbered entry in Atlus's beloved Shin Megami Tensei series is coming exclusively to Nintendo Switch. And this epic role-playing game, order itself has crumbled and chaos reigns over all. Shin Megami Tensei 5 will have a simultaneous global launch on Nintendo Switch in 2021. And I think it's actually exclusive to Switch, 5 is. So good for Nintendo. I watched the trailers. It looks interesting. Looks very weird, but
they're all weird.
Yeah.
But they're very well loved.
Apparently. And then as far as Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, apparently that first came out in 2003 for the PS2. Apparently there was like some director's cuts and other versions that have come out since then. You know, Atlus likes to release 6 different versions of their games. But since I did not actually know what Shin Megami, I mean, I knew what Shin Megami Tensei was, but I didn't really understand it. I found this thread on Twitter by this person named Perfect Burb Lady DX and Knuckles. That's a funny name. You can find them at FB Fish Slap, but they did a big thread on what actually Shin Megami Tensei is. So they say Shin Megami Tensei is an old, very influential RPG series that a lot of people chiefly know because it spun off into the Persona series. With Nocturne and Shin Megami Tensei 5 both coming out for Switch next year, I feel like now is a great time for people to try and break into the series as a whole. However, it's also a very old series, and I could not in good conscience tell people to start at Shin Megami Tensei 1, hence the thread. I think SMT1 was a Super Nintendo game. I think it actually came to Switch Online for the Japanese people last month. So
they get all the good stuff.
Right. The main themes of SMT tend to carry through in every game, though some games don't include every element. There's almost always a conflict between the forces of law and chaos, people who summon and control demons through technology, and heavy philosophical theming. There's 2 main points of entry to consider here, mainline games and spin-offs. Mainline games are the numbered entries, including Nocturne, where spin-offs are everything else. Mainline games tend to be very gameplay heavy and atmospheric. How much you enjoy the gameplay will make or break your experience with mainline SMT. Spin-offs tend to be more like the usual RPG experience with more character focus and story-based experience, a la Persona. I don't think there's any shame in preferring the experience of the spin-offs to the mainline games. However, I think it's also important to understand the series' roots too. At the very least, consider watching an LP of them. I think that's interesting, how Persona is the spin-off, and yet I would think arguably it's the bigger franchise, kind of. um, let's see. They recommend the SMT4 duology as a good starting point, or Nocturne, but they do say Nocturne is hard, so be prepared for that. And they go on and on. I'll try to remember to link this Twitter thread in the show notes. But I could see myself maybe playing it one day. I did recognize some of the monsters in the trailer as the monsters you see in Persona 5, so that was interesting. But yeah, I think that is about it for that. Very exciting for the SMT fans out there. I know Disa was happy about the news. Okay, next, a game called Atelier Ryza 2, Lost Legends and the Secret Fairy. It's one game. When I first read that headline, I thought Secret Fairy was another game, but no.
It's crazy.
It's coming to Switch, PS4, and Steam. I don't know what this is. It looks very anime, but I saw Disa talking about it on Twitter or in the Discord maybe about Atelier Ryza. And so I thought it might be worth at least bringing it up on the show. Do you know anything about this game?
No idea. I've heard of them, but I haven't really delved into any information on them.
Yeah, it's by Koei Tecmo and Gust. And apparently the trailer for it was shown in the Japanese version of the Nintendo Direct Mini. So apparently it wasn't important enough for us plebeian Americans.
Nope, not that important for us.
Yep. But that's about all I have to say about that. Okay, and then another story from me. Paper Mario devs are no longer allowed to modify Mario characters. Okay, so this sort of made some waves in the Paper Mario community. I personally love the original 3 Paper Mario games. I did not like Sticker Star. I have not played Color Splash or the new one, the Origami King. But Rich, you're probably unaware of this. In the first 3 Paper Mario games, there were original characters. There were like a bunch of different, like you could have a Goomba with a ponytail, or like a Koopa in a hoodie with like their own distinct personalities and all that. Since Sticker Star on the DS, they have only been allowed to use existing like, mainline Mario characters like Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, Birdo, just things you would see in the main series, Mario series. And I would say that's much to its detriment, just because it makes it to where it's very hard to create an interesting story, because I mean, you can't have complex plot threads just involving the main Mario characters.
Huh.
I'm probably like boring you to tears with this story, but it just like made some waves, and I know we do have some Mario RPG fans out there.
It's weird why Nintendo is very protective of Mario. Like anything Mario related, they're like, no, you can't touch this. You can't do it. They'll go after people like crazy if you use Mario's like image of anything.
Yep.
So it doesn't surprise me that they would actually tell them like, you can't do that no more.
It's a bit of a shame, because the original 3 games had very interesting stories, very complex stories almost, for Mario anyway. I would even say Thousand Year Door and Super Paper Mario had pretty dark stories at some points. So
yeah,
it's just a shame. I'm sure Origami King is a decent game at least, but it's just, kind of wasted potential what could be.
Yeah, I agree. That's just crazy. So
the rumor is that the direction came from Miyamoto, who you know who that is, right?
Isn't he the creator of all that stuff?
Yeah, he's like probably the most famous video game developer out there. He like created Mario and Zelda and a bunch of other Nintendo franchises.
I just imagine him being like off in a corner somewhere going, "These are my preciouses. Don't touch them.
Yeah,
don't look at them."
It honestly makes me want to be like, "All right, buddy. I think it's time for you to retire."
Yeah, you're done. Yeah. But I mean, I can see what he's trying to do is keeping his product pure and not having it so diluted. I mean, there's a lot of game series that we know that we love, that have changed so much because of, different hands have been involved and things like that. So I get it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like Mario's how old now? 85, 82 maybe?
82, I think.
So
yeah.
Change is not bad.
You've seen Avengers, right?
Yes.
That scene where Nick Fury is talking to like the board of directors during the attack on New York and the Shield directors, and he's like, "I understand your plan, but given that I think it's a stupid ass one."
Yep, I like that. Oh, Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, but that's sad. But maybe things will change one day in the future when Miyamoto dies. God forbid. But I don't see it changing anytime soon, unfortunately.
No.
What's next?
Okay, so Final Fantasy 14 Shadowbringers patch 5.3 lands August 11th, plus the free trial expanded through Heavensward. So it has been talked about for a while. The new patch expansion, the 5.3, was delayed a little bit at the beginning of the year because of COVID. Now it looks like it's set to release on August 11th. With that being said, they've decided to additionally main scenario quest line for a Realm Reborn will be worked at this time, which lowers requirements to complete quests and adjusts in experience points given, which is awesome for me, so I can actually get back into it. Because it is a freaking grind.
Yeah.
But with 5.3, they will be allowing players to play up to level 60 through Heavensward for free with no limit on playtime. So the free trial will have access to the Dark Knight, the Astrologian, and Machinist job class, as well as the Ara race. So you basically could do free trial of the main story, the main game, the vanilla edition, and the second expansion for free. So that's pretty nice.
That's extremely generous. That's like a year of gameplay.
Yeah, basically. It's massive. I think I've put 30 hours so far into that game with my brother, and we took a break for a little bit, but that's a massive amount of that. So with 5.3, you have the new main scenario quests, quest lines updated in a Realm Reborn, like we talked about, new Yora Dark Apocalypse Alliance raid, Save the Queen quest line updates, new trials, new beasts, new game plus updates, craft and gather updates, new custom deliveries, just a whole bunch of stuff. Job adjustments for PvE and PvP, system updates, and more. So they are really big on keeping this game going. So
let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. If I was to jump on Final Fantasy 14 on this free trial, would I get anything by going ahead and buying it? Or is it just literally, if you're buying it, you're paying for, Shadowbringers and Stormblood?
I think you'd have to, I don't know about that. I don't know if you would get the free access to it and then just purchase the other stuff. I don't know. But it does cost money to play it monthly.
Yeah. Well, if you're on a free trial, though.
That's true.
So do you know if they finished like revamping the main core story, base story?
That's going to be what it is in 5.3.
Okay, so it's coming. All right.
Yeah, that's on its way in. So if you wanted to, yeah, and then plus the experience and stuff like that's going to be boosted, it looks like, from what I'm seeing. So yeah, it could be a good time to get into that here after August 11th.
When this 5.3 patch drops, people, that would be a great time to get in on 14.
Yep.
I think that's really cool of Square Enix. Very, very generous. Like I said,
they've been pretty generous with this game. Since the original launch of it, and then the whole disaster of it, and then letting people play for free for like a year and a half while they, fixed it. So yeah,
maybe I'll just quit my job and like finally play 11 and 14.
Oh yeah, totally do that. I think Corey would enjoy that if you quit your job.
Obviously, he's working, right?
Yeah, he's fine.
Okay, so next story. Yakuza Like a Dragon, which I believe is also just Yakuza 7 or something. It's getting a PS5 version, and they also said that they are looking at options to provide a free upgrade path, so that's exciting. I know we were sort of worried that wasn't going to be a thing with PS4 to PS5, but it seems like a lot of games are doing that. It kind of seems like Sony is leaving it up to the developers, although I don't think I've seen any first party games confirmed that way. But they also revealed their English voice cast, which is headlined by George Takei.
Really?
Who, apparently he plays the patriarch Masumi Arakawa. So that's pretty cool. Pretty big name. And they've also revealed some pre-order options here. So the game's going to come to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, Windows 10, and Steam. An upgrade path is being planned. I'm trying to find these pre-order options. You will be able to switch the voice track and subtitles, so that's cool. Here we go. There's a Daiichi Steelbook edition, which comes with some costumes. There's a legendary hero edition. Looks like it comes with extra skins and characters, some other stuff, some jobs. So yeah, I think this is interesting because apparently this Yakuza is they added it like an actual turn-based battle system to it, which is very interesting for that series. But I am interested in jumping in on the series eventually, although I think you're supposed to start on Yakuza 0. So, yeah, very interesting.
All right, so this is a big one. Are you ready for this one, Scott?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm clenching my butt.
All right, so Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 has entered full development. Basically, it's come out that Nomura wants to deliver this game as soon as possible. So the news arrives thanks to a 15-page interview with the Japanese game magazine Famitsu. Woohoo, like I pronounced it. I'm getting better. So he wants to make sure this game gets out as fast as they can because they know fans really want this. The success of 7 Part 1 was huge for them. But they want to make sure they get this out ahead of time so they don't have to wait too long for people to lose interest. We gave the first part of Final Fantasy VII Remake at 8 back in April. That's what IGN gave it. So they are ready. They're putting it in full development. So we'll see this in probably 5 years now, not 10, 5 years.
Yeah, on the surface, this seems like good news. But when I saw the article, I was like, God, I would hope so.
Yeah, I thought they would already be in development once it already went gold.
Yeah, I would have hoped they were in full development before the Part 1 came out. So
yeah, well, they might have been, but because of COVID, they might have, delayed a little bit. So the news story. So
wasn't
basically,
there, one other thing that they said in that article. I thought this was interesting. Apparently, the Madame M massage scene. Apparently, that was actually toned down from their original plan for it.
Oh, really?
Because they were worried that their ratings would go up if they kept it how it was planned. I'm kind of wondering, what else was going on in that scene? Because it was already pretty suggestive.
Well, yeah, he's getting a hand massage. Where they actually give a hand job.
Yeah, and if you pay for the expensive version, it seems like Cloud actually comes to climax a little bit. So.
Yeah, and then Roche,
that
guy, Roche, was supposed to have a battle in Chapter 14. They cut his battle, I guess.
I would have been. Let's see, Chapter 14.
That's the end almost.
I think that's right before you start the climb up to the Shinra building, if I remember correctly. Maybe. So he would have fought you in the slum somewhere, I guess. Yeah, we actually talked about him a bit at some point in our 10-hour review, but I remember saying that it was weird how he didn't show up again later. So
that explains it.
Yeah, I'm sure that he'll be in Part 2 or somewhere
They
down the road.
They did say that he was going to be more visible in the second part. So yeah. I don't know how. Maybe he'll be a joint character.
I've actually saw a couple people suggest that, and I hope not. I could take him or leave him, but I think his charm would wear off if you have more than small doses.
I would rather have Johnny.
Yes, make him fully playable. I want a Johnny spinoff, actually. That'd be great.
All right. So Suikoden.
Suikoden.
God damn. I was like, I'm so good at these. No, I'm not. Creator announces spiritual successor. How do you pronounce that?
I have no idea. My best shot would be Ayuden.
Ayuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. So this popped up. People a fan of the original series. Basically, this has been announced. A Kickstarter campaign will open on Monday, July 27th, to run through the month of August, seeking a $500,000 in funding for a PC version. A stretch goal will be in place for additional PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and Switch for current Nintendo console versions. They're planning to release this in 2022.
Nice.
So
I know a lot of people were excited about this because there's some Suikoden fans out there, sort of a long dormant RPG series. I know Angry Ass Black Dude is a big fan of them.
Yes, I know he loves them. There's a lot, looking at the key staff project, there's a lot of people from the original game of Suikoden. We have a Castlevania art director, composer from the Tales series, and we also have another composer from the Wild Arms series.
Oh,
speaking of
relevant.
Wild Arms,
I've heard Wild Arms has a great soundtrack. So
yeah, it's a story, basically tapestry of a nations where diverse cultures and values, by dint of sword and way of magical objects known as rune lenses. The land's history has been shaped by alliances and aggressions of the humans, beastmen, elves, and desert people who live here. The Galdan Empire has edged out other nations and discovered a technology that amplifies the runes lens magic. Now the Empire is scouring the continent for artifacts that will expand their power even further. It is on one such expedition that Saigen Kesling,
Kesling,
and a gifted Imperial officer and Nawa, a boy from a remote village, meet each other and become friends. However, a twist of fate will soon drag them into the fires of war, force them both to re-examine everything they believe to be right and true.
Rich, this actually looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm looking at some of these screenshots, and I like the character designs too.
Yeah, they're nice.
That might be something we need to keep an eye on.
Yep.
I've never played a Suikoden, but I've heard 2 is pretty good. I've heard 1 is like, but take it or leave it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how all that unfolds.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, and now on to the big doozy stuff. So Xbox had a game showcase earlier this week. The stream was about an hour, although they did have like a hour pre-show and post-show, part of the Summer Games Fest that Jeff Keighley has been running. I actually thought this conference was pretty good. Like, I thought it was at least on par with the Sony conference that we had like a month or so ago. It was. I never go into Xbox with high expectations, but I was pretty impressed with this one. Did you watch any of it?
A little bit. There's a few things in there. I saw the Halo stuff, but that's pretty much it. And I saw what you're getting ready to talk about now. I saw that, and I was kind of like, really? So, anyways.
Yeah. So the very first thing they revealed was Dragon Quest: Echoes of an Elusive Age S. It was announced for the Xbox One and Xbox Series X. And then later on, it was revealed that, yes, it's also coming to PS4 and Steam. So the S version of the game is like a sort of an enhanced port. It's got better music, I think. And I know there's like some extra, there's like an expansion of quests that you can do that reveal more of the backstories of your party members. And it was interesting because, the Switch got the S version and they never did anything to upgrade the PS4 version. Apparently now that version's coming to everything.
Which is weird, though. And then you have to pay for it. You still have to pay for that.
Yeah.
Again.
That doesn't surprise me, honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
But apparently that's coming on December 4th, which is not that far away. And although I did read somewhere that there were some graphical downgrades going from the PS4 to the Switch.
Yep.
And the version based on the S version that's coming out now to the PS4 and all the Xboxes and stuff, apparently that will still have the Switch downgrades. So that's kind of a bummer.
Huh.
It's weird. It's like couldn't go through the effort of going back to the improved graphics. I don't know. Oh well. But
Yeah.
that's exciting. I've heard Dragon Quest XI is an excellent game, and I do want to play it at some point. Although Bill said he's not crazy about it.
You can't
Not
trust
sure.
his word.
That's true. He has terrible taste.
All right, so the Outer Worlds Peril on Gorgon DLC announced for PS4, Xbox One, and Epic Games Store. Basically, I don't know. Did you ever play the Outer Worlds?
No, I've heard it's pretty good though.
Yeah. So that has been announced. The first of 2 play DLC expansion of the game is set to release on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC via Epic Store on September 9th, priced at $14.99. Or can be purchased as part of the Outer Worlds expansion pass, which includes both Peril on Gorgon and Murder on Iridios for $24.99 on a Game Pass. You can save 10%. I noticed that the Switch will be a later date.
Interesting.
Didn't the Switch version of this game like got downgraded like hardcore?
I've heard that they have fixed a lot of it through patches, but I did hear that it was not the ideal version for sure.
Okay. So yeah, I haven't played it. I heard it's good. I was looking at it. I was thinking about picking it up for Switch, and then I saw like the screenshots and everything for it. I was like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah,
but
I've heard that if I remember right, it won a couple of awards at the Game Awards last year. I think one of them might have been like for narrative. So apparently it has a really good story.
Yeah.
I may be making that up, but
yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. But yeah, that's the DLC. It's coming out soon, which will be September 9th.
Did they say what the DLC was about?
No, they didn't. They just said that's the new trailer. Well, they did have like the regular trailer.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to take a look at that, a severed arm and mysterious message lead to the crew to an unreliable to the Gorgon asteroid, formerly cited as the Helicron's most ambitious and disastrous scientific undertakings, now a lawless den of monsters and marauders. Basically, and just, I mean, that's it.
Yep. So I watched this whole conference, but this thing was not something that like jumped out at me. So
no,
is it the one that sort of has like the Fallout-ish
yes
style? Okay.
Fallout and Borderlands.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I remember.
Mm-hmm. It's like if those two made a baby.
Nice. Y'all keep an eye out on that. Play, damn it. Okay, so the next one, this is how they ended the conference. It was pretty big news. A new Fable game was announced for Xbox Series X and Windows 10. So have you ever played a Fable?
Yeah, I played. I think I played 1 and 2, if I remember correctly. It's kind of a goofy game. I played the evil versions of everything.
Of course you did.
So yeah,
I remember. I think I watched one of my friends when I was young play one of them. But this is a big Microsoft series that's been missing for a long time, especially since they closed. I think it was Lionhead Studios.
Yeah, they closed them a while back, a couple of years ago, I think. Yeah, Microsoft with the whole like closing every major studio that they owned due to consolidations.
Yeah, so this trailer, it didn't reveal much. It basically just showed like a fairy flying around, and then it gets eaten by a frog. It's just sort of showing the beauty of the graphics. So we still don't really know anything about the game. I think people already knew that this was in development. We just hadn't seen anything from it. But I'll have to keep an eye on this because Fable is such like a famous RPG franchise that a lot of people really love and adore. So
yeah.
Apparently it's called Just Fable. So it's not Just Fable, but Fable.
Yeah, and they're talking about it's supposed to reboot, and there's also rumors go around it's going to be an MMO.
Yes.
So
that would be crazy. I don't think anybody really wants that. I mean,
no.
I could be wrong, but yeah, so let's keep an eye on that. I wish there was more to say about it since it was like such a huge reveal, but they didn't really give us much to go on. Are you excited about it?
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see.
So Obsidian Entertainment announces Avowed for Xbox Series X and Windows 10. Basically, they just showed a video of it. Avowed coming to Xbox. Well, apparently, Xbox One listing has been removed, so never mind. Maybe that one's not coming to Xbox One now. Through Game Pass and Windows 10, a release has not been announced. The official website's there. So if you want to take a look at it, you can. Not much is known about. It's more of just the trailer. So from what I saw, it looked pretty good. So
yes, this was the one I remember, like arrows being shot and a lot of magic going on. It was basically just like a cinematic trailer. It looks like it could be cool, but it wasn't something that I was like, it wasn't something that got me excited necessarily.
Yeah. The site that we got our news from, the RPG site, it just has it listed as, just the trailer and that it's coming out. They just don't know when it's coming out.
Yeah, apparently it's a first-person RPG set in the world of Eora, the same universe that the Pillars of Eternity games are set in.
Never played them.
For a second, I was like, wait, is that... I was confusing that with Pillars of Dust. The much bigger franchise, obviously.
Yes, much bigger franchise, but still equally great.
Yes. So look forward to that. Rich, I knew you would be excited for this next one.
Why would you do this to me? So, Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis launches for PC and more platforms in 2021. So, if you were a fan of the Phantasy Star Online 2, I know the other one just came out. Let's see. Didn't they just have one release?
I'm not sure.
I thought they did. Anyways, so New Genesis will be available on Xbox One, Series X, Windows 10, PC basically in 2021. So it is already, I think it's already released in Japan, which it normally is. So I don't know. We'll see.
The trailer looked really cool. Like the graphics were pretty, and I just don't know much about Phantasy Star Online. Is it like an actual MMO?
I think so. Series celebrates its 20th anniversary. Launched on Dreamcast in 2020 or 2000. Oh my God, that was so long ago.
And Phantasy Star, that's a Sega franchise, right?
Yes. Yep. Dreamcast, obviously.
Yeah. So, this was originally a Dreamcast game. So this is actually pretty big news, like a sort of a franchise revival here, I think.
They're trying to. I think they're really trying to revive this series.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously MMOs are not my thing, but I thought it looked pretty cool. Yeah, so look forward to that. Okay. Another new game that was announced is Echo Generation. So this was actually pretty cool. Or this is one that stood out to me during everything. At first, I thought it was like maybe a Stranger Things game because it has sort of like Stranger Things-ish music, and the main character there kind of looks like what is it, Dustin, the kid that wears a hat with curly hair.
Oh, that guy? Yeah.
But the art style is really cool. Everything's made out of like sort of like retro 8-bit graphics, but it's like fully 3D. And it looks like it has turn-based battles. So this is like one of the games in the show that I was like, depending on, how that game and the development folds and what kind of reviews it gets, like I'm here for it. I might actually get this. Sort of had like some Earthbound-ish vibes too, which y'all know I love Earthbound. So
no.
Yeah. Look, I personally am looking forward to that one.
So, on to the next piece of information that we have here. Destiny 2, coming to the Game Pass in September, will include Beyond Light DLC and enhanced Xbox Series X version, which is pretty nice. I thought they delayed the new Beyond Light DLC. The standard editions of DLCs will be available with DLC Destiny Season 2 Pass sold separately. Bungie launched Destiny 2 in a Game Pass will initially be limited to the console version of the subscription, but Microsoft is working to bring this to PC subscription later in 2021. How about that?
Destiny is just like so far from my thing. I know you've played some of it.
Yes.
But I do have some really good friends that are like huge Destiny people. Shout out to the Twitch channel Dizzy D'Lo, who's a really good friend of mine. He hosts the Drunk Destiny podcast. So I sort of still absorb a lot of this Destiny news that comes out through like symbiosis.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought for Destiny, it looked really cool. I know there's like a new ability called Stasis that people are excited about, apparently.
I have no idea what that is.
So it seems that Destiny 2 continues to kick here.
It's trying.
Yeah, you played some of it, right?
Yeah.
And how do you feel about it?
They're getting better. They're trying so hard to revive everything and keep it going. I think with Destiny 1, they had such good potential and then just kind of dropped off. Then Taken King came back and did a good job in Destiny 1. And then Destiny 2, I don't know. I'm hoping that they do some good stuff here.
Yeah, me too. Just good wishes to my Destiny people out there.
Yes.
And then finally, that's basically all the RPG news from the show. But I did list out here some of all the other games that were shown during the conference. So obviously, the big deal of the conference was Halo Infinite. Did you watch this trailer, Rich?
I did. I'm still skeptical on that one because I just don't know. Everybody says it's an early build graphics of the game, so right now it may not look as pretty as you'd expect from a Series X game that's going to be coming out. Yeah, but we'll see.
Yeah, I watched the trailer, and to me, it just looked like, it looked like Halo, but pretty. Yeah, a little prettier.
It looked good.
Nothing really about it blew me away. I've played the entire series, the campaigns anyway, and I didn't really understand what was happening with the story in this trailer. So I don't really know what was going on with that. But the rumor is that it's going to be more open world than usual.
Yes.
Although I couldn't really tell that from the trailer. So, I'll definitely end up playing this at some point, especially since I believe you can play it on Xbox One as well via Game Pass.
Maybe.
Not sure about that, but I'm excited about it. One thing I was a little disappointed by, as I was hoping we would see more of Hellblade 2, which was supposed to be. They did show it for a minute, but like it was almost nothing. Just like it showed Senua doing some war cries with a tribe behind her.
Yeah, it's more of a like, hey, we're still doing it.
Yeah. Have you played the first one?
Nope. It's on the Switch. I'm probably gonna look at it.
It's pretty good, and it's kind of a quick game. I think my final time was like 10 or 12 hours, something like that. So I enjoyed it. I think it might have been a little overhyped, but it was a good game. So looking down the list here, State of Decay 3 looks cool to me. Had a black female protagonist apparently, which is always good.
Nice.
To get some more representation, and the zombie deer looked pretty wicked.
Zombie deer.
Although I didn't realize it was the third game in the series when I was watching the trailer. So
really,
yeah. Do you know anything about the series?
I do not.
Yeah. Okay. So another game I want to talk about not necessarily talk about, but mention. This was shown or revealed at the Sony conference, but now they showed more of it during this conference. The game Medium. So this is sort of like a psychological horror thriller looking game. You play as a girl who has some kind of special. This teenage girl, maybe young girl, has the ability to see into another realm, almost like the Silent Hill version of where she's at. And the cool thing they revealed during this trailer is it has split screen, where apparently you control the girl in both worlds at the same time, except for in the parallel world, she's like a much older lady. This game looks really cool to me. Like I'm almost certain that I'm going to end up getting this unless it gets like terrible reviews or something. Did you see anything about it?
I did not.
You should look into it after I think it looks awesome.
Okay.
But
I'll take a look.
I like horror games though. So.
All right.
Psychonauts 2. I'm a big fan of the first one. I thought that this was a weird trailer. It had a Jack Black singing a vocal song for the game. Apparently the world they were showing off was a very like hippie psychedelic world. not like I said, not the best trailer. I didn't feel, but I loved the first one. So I've been hyped for about this sequel for years now. Um, did they reveal a release date? I don't feel like they did. The first game was very funny. You should give it a go if you
Okay.
if you like platformers.
Well,
But it has a really good funny story.
Can I play it on the Vita or handheld?
I don't know. I know that there was a PS2 version, but and I know it's on Game Pass, and I know you can download it on the Xbox Live Arcade. But as far as a handheld version, I'm not sure.
Okay, I'll take a look at it.
As Dusk Falls, this game looked like very artistic. It was telling like a sort of Life is Strange-ish story, but it was in like almost still hand-drawn portraits. Did you see this?
No, I did not see that one. I must have missed that one. Like I went through the series, the event like off and on throughout the time that it was playing. So I might have missed a couple of these things.
Yeah.
That I knew about.
I'm going to keep an eye on As Dusk Falls. I'm not even though the art is very pretty, I'm not sure I'm on board with, like the still images. Seems very almost cheap, but we'll see how it goes. A game I am excited about is Tell Me Why. So this game looked very Life is Strange-ish, except for maybe maybe even a more like deeper dramatic story, less slice of life-ish. And it seemed like a brother and a sister go back to their abandoned childhood home to try to figure out why their mom kicked them out or something like that, or why their mom went crazy or something along those lines. This looked really good to me. So if it gets good ratings, I'll probably get it. Another game that looked cool, Everwild, which I believe is Rareware's newest title. This game looked pretty cool to me too. The character designs are pretty awesome. I don't really remember much else. And then Balan Wonderworld, which is the first game by Sonic creator Yuji Naka, who has moved to Square Enix. And basically, this looked like a Nights into Dreams ripoff, which is a pretty like well-loved series that sort of never got its time to shine necessarily. I thought it looked kind of cool, maybe a little too weird for me, but we'll see. Okay, and those were the things that stood out to me. I'm going to read down the rest of the things that were shown. And Rich, if there's anything you want to talk about in particular, stop me.
Let's do it.
Forza Motorsport, Crossfire X, Warhammer 40,000, Darktide, The Gunk, Tetris Effect Connected, Stalker 2, Grounded, Hello Neighbor 2, Watch Dogs Legions, and Exo Mecha.
So none of them.
Yeah. None of those really stood out to me either. Tetris Effect looked kind of cool. And I'm sure there are people that are excited about some of these, but they're just not on my radar at all.
Yep.
Exo Mecha looked cool. It's just not the kind of game I would normally play. So yeah, phew. So that is everything news-wise. Finally, we did it, Rich.
Holy crap. Yay. We're caught up for now.
Yeah, so we'll go on to the RPG releases. This is a hard word. Artificer, Science of Magic is coming to the PC on July 23rd. Dex is coming to Switch on July 24th. Grimshade is coming to Switch on June 25th. Mega Dimensions Neptunia 7 is coming to Switch on July 28th. Other Side is coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC on July 28th. Hellpoint is coming to PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on July 30th. Yakuza Kiwami 2 is coming to Xbox One on July 30th. And Fairy Tail is coming to PS4, Switch, and PC on July 30th in Europe and July 31st in North America. So I know this says Jay here, but what's coming up, Rich?
I was like, should I talk? I don't know. So upcoming one, we've got Fae Tactics on PC, which is coming out July 31st. Monster Crown PC, which is July 31st as well. That's an early access. And Little Town Hero, which is on PC. Was that a Switch game at once?
Yes. Apparently it was but apparently it was awful. I was excited for it at one point because it was by Game Freak and it looked like sort of a full RPG that's not Pokemon. But apparently it was just terrible.
So Game Freak should stick to their Pokemon series.
Yeah, they need to
It's
stick to
making their money.
their mediocre Pokemon games.
Yeah, it makes them a lot of money, so they should
Yeah.
just they get one of those. It's like they're that company that's like we do such a great job with this. Let's try something else,
Right.
and it does horrible. So yeah, let's not have them do that. Don't do that. Go back.
So that's all the RPGs that have come out this week and will come out next. Before we move on, there's one more thing I wanted to mention about the Xbox conference. Game Pass is looking freaking sweet, dude. Like, it's almost making me consider getting it and maybe a Series X too.
I'm debating that now too. Thanks for bringing that up.
Like, everything is like all these games that we talked about. Apparently, they're like day one Game Pass games, and most of them that are playable on X with free upgrades to Series X, or Xbox One to Series X. Like, that is legit. Like, Microsoft is doing the right thing to distinguish themselves from from its competition. I think. Like, I'm almost sold on this.
Yeah, they're getting crazy.
Yeah, for
I
real.
would probably I'm debating this. I talked about it last night with people I work with at my other job. I was like, should I just do it and pre-order both consoles? Just do it. You know, a little bit here, a little bit there.
This is why I will always be a slave to my job.
I know. Just tell Corey to, make more money, work 3 jobs,
right.
Support you.
Hey, in the chat here, we have, I think Disa's in here. Winter 9
Holy
Norway.
crap.
She says that she's getting Mega Dimension Neptunia, but it's through limited run. So she's going to have to wait a while.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Bill's in here too. He says, where's the sexy British guy?
Get out. Get out, Bill.
Please.
We don't need you.
So, Rich, we're about an hour in. Do we want to play this trivia game?
I guess.
Okay.
I mean, we could do for like 10 minutes. I think we could do 10 minutes of this trivia game and go from there. So how do we do this?
All right. Well, first of all, we're gonna take a break, just a quick break to gather our thoughts and all that, and get you guys some ads. So, see you shortly. Are you still good to go?
Oh yeah.
All right. Okay, we are back, and since we sort of suspected the news might take a whole episode's worth of length, we have decided to play a trivia game. So here we go with some RPG trivia. All right, so I literally threw this together at the last second. I googled RPG trivia. I found a website. I looked at several different quizzes. They were all really easy. So this was the most challenging one I could find on a dime. So I'm going to try to keep score here.
Okay.
We're going to make this competitive, Rich. Winner get bragging rights, I guess.
Sweet.
Put it here in the dot. Rich 0, Scott 0. All right. Do you have this quiz pulled up?
I do. The one that's on the doc. I've got it pulled up. Question number 1. It's the RPG Alphabet Soup quiz. Is that right?
Yes. So apparently all these answers are based on a letter of the alphabet. So although the description said they left out E for some reason, which I don't understand, but okay. So do we want to take turns answering? Like if you answer and then you get the point, but if you don't, I get a chance to answer, or do we just want to? Okay.
We can do that.
All right. So I'll let you go first.
All right.
So for the letter A, we go to a PlayStation 2 RPG character. This character has appeared in at least 2 games so far and has once said the quote, "I hate this place." This character also has some connection to the 4th planet in our solar system. Which character am I describing?
Ansem?
Let's see. Does it tell you when you...
No,
Nope,
it doesn't.
Fuck. Okay.
So
that's
no,
it.
we could just you could select yours and I'll select mine. Or do you know the answers already?
I don't know.
So just select your answer and then we'll go through this together and then we'll submit it. See who gets the most
Oh,
points.
how about this? Since we don't have the answers and we can't look them up immediately, let's just go in on it together. Like we'll
Okay.
agree on an answer.
Sure.
Otherwise,
Okay.
it'll take too long, I think.
All right. Sounds good.
I'm fine with Ansem. I actually don't know the answer to that one. For the letter B, we go to a character that you could literally call Four Eyes. The character appears twice in the game that they have appeared in. One location of this character is near to a location that has the same name as a famous clothing company. Which character that appeared on the Super Nintendo am I describing? The answers are Bahamut, Bowser, Bowyer, or Balone. Rich, I know
Bowser?
this one.
Bowser?
No, it says Four Eyes.
Oh,
Bowser doesn't have four eyes.
I don't,
Oh,
I
the
don't
chat's
know.
blowing up over here.
I know it is. It's Bill. Leave him alone.
Okay. It's Balone. He is a hamster boss in Super Mario RPG that has four eyes.
Huh.
Okay. For the letter C, we go to a character that originally appeared on the PlayStation, but has appeared in at least 2 games on the PlayStation 2. This character once had to dress up like a girl. This character
Cloud.
also never smiled. Yep, that's Cloud.
They'll just put that in Cloud and just go from there.
Yeah. For the letter D, we look at an item used to stun the first boss you encounter in the Zelda game that the editors at Nintendo Power call the best in the series and the best game on their top 200 list. What am I describing? You stun the first boss, and so this is Ocarina of Time, I think.
You're the Zelda guy.
Yeah, this is Deku Nut. You can use those to stun the first boss.
Okay.
You want to read the next one?
Sure. For the letter F, we look toward the handheld systems of Nintendo. In the Game Boy Advance series, this character played a villain. In the DS version, this character was not a villain, but he still had hostile feelings toward the heroes that beat him in the last time. Which character am I describing that often uses food as metaphors in his speech? What?
I think I know this one.
What?
I think it's Fawful from the Mario and Luigi series.
How do you spell that?
Fawful. At first, I was like scrambling. I was like, I don't know what it's talking about, but
I have no idea.
Lots of Nintendo related answers here.
Yeah, here's another one.
Question 6. For the letter G, we stay in the handheld system area. In Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, you will find these items in a variety of colors. They are designed to raise IQ, and different colors appeal to different kinds of Pokemon. What useful item am I describing?
Ginsengs?
I've not played a Mystery Dungeon. I wish Jay was here.
Yeah, I'm going to say ginseng.
Do you have any idea if that's correct, or are you?
Nope. It's just because ginseng, isn't that for memory? Except it's an actual food.
Makes sense.
So I don't know. We'll try.
All right. You can read the next one.
The letter H is this in this quiz can be found on the Game Boy Advance. These enemies appeared in a group of 3 to serve their final boss in the second game of a popular RPG series made by Capcom. What are these enemies called? Hell demons? Harpies.
A popular RPG series made by Capcom. All these answers do sound like Castlevania. Wait, no, Castlevania is Konami.
Yeah.
So what RPG series does Capcom make? Breath of Fire?
I mean, Breath of Fire.
I'm not coming up with anything else.
Nope, that's all. I'm going to say, let's just go Harpies.
Okay.
Here we go.
For this letter, we go to the wonderful world of summons. In one of the Final Fantasy games, this character drastically changed from what it used to look like. For some reason, the look stayed. It was taken out of one of the Final Fantasy games as a summon, but was replaced as something else, which was the first one of these mentioned. What summon am I describing? In one of the Final Fantasy games, from what it used to look like, I think it might be talking about Final Fantasy 12, because if you remember, the classic summons in that game were airships.
Yeah.
So that would be a drastic change. And I don't think there was an Ixion or an Indra in 12.
So are you talking Ifrit?
I think it's Ifrit.
All right, let's just try it.
Assuming I'm tracking with what the question is actually asking.
All right, so The letter J is found in a skill that is usually exclusive to a certain class of characters. This class of characters is known for using spears as their main weapons. Certain characters from this class are Kane from Final Fantasy V and Freya from Final Fantasy 12.
The options are jab, jump, jujitsu, jerk away, and of course we know it is
Jump.
Yep.
Yeah, and Final Fantasy 4, not 5. I'm stupid.
Stupid quiz.
Yeah.
Question 10. For the letter K, we go back to the Nintendo realm. And we weren't gone for that long.
No.
This character was made into a robotic version that was crafted as a vehicle. The vehicle fashioned after this character was designed to travel to an island that was thought to be inaccessible. Which character was this vehicle crafted after? I got Kingdra, Kabutops, Kingler, and Kyogre. So this is a Pokemon question.
Oh, I was like, wait, these are Pokemon?
Do you know the answer?
No, I don't. I mean, Kingler. That's the crab, I thought. Or Kingdra is the
seahorse thing.
Yeah. Kingler's the crab.
And Kyogre is the legendary bird. I bet it's that one.
All right, let's do that one.
Or not the legendary bird, but the blue one
whale?
that's on the cover of Sapphire. Yeah. 11. The letter L can be found in a game released in 2006 for the Nintendo DS. The character can be found in the mayor's house and in a shop named after a mythological creature. It can also be found in your journeys, blasting enemies with diagonal rays of light. What am I describing that starts with the letter L?
Well, Lulu's a character from Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
Leviathan is a summoned and mythological creature.
I'm honestly not sure what game this is referencing, but if I had to guess, I would say Luna.
All right, let's do Luna.
Yep. Number 12. For the letter M, we travel to the popular realm of Fable, the Lost Chapters. I didn't know that was a thing.
Nope.
The M I am speaking of is the first person who will inform you about the guild, which is where you'll be spending the rest of your life. Who am I describing? Maze, Mark, Mage, or Master Guild?
I have no idea.
I would guess either Mark or Mage.
Let's just go with Mage.
Okay. You can read the next one.
All right. So for the N, we go to the leader of organizations that has broken away from the organization that opposes them. This N is also a lovebird with a rival of the main character for the first half of the game they started. Of course, this only happens if you make a choice that will gain you 100% of the completion of the game. This game also was also the first official sequel of the very famous RPGs. Who is this in? I don't know.
Ooh. Okay. I think I know what this is. This is
this 10?
This is 10-2, I think.
Okay.
Final Fantasy 10-2. I think it's Nuge because he was the guy that like LeBlanc had like a secret lovers relationship with him. So that would make sense. Yeah. And he led the youth league after breaking away. So that makes sense. Question 14. The O I'm describing is very popular, especially in the Nintendo realm. This O has been called other things, but was not made real popular until its debut on the Nintendo 64. This O has also been called the #1 game on a list of 200 by the authors of Nintendo Power. What is this famous O? I think it's talking about Ocarina.
I was going to say Ocarina of Time. Yeah, it's 3 words.
Okay, yeah. I didn't see that. Thanks for pointing that out. Ocarina of Time. 15. For the letter P, we visit another common staple of the Final Fantasy series. This particular P has practically had the same use through every game. Its roles and purposes may have changed slightly, but usually when seen, it is good news to you and your party and bad news to your enemy. In one particular Final Fantasy game, you had to gather geological stratums in order to get an item for this P to appear. What P am I describing?
I was going to say potion.
But usually when seen, it's good news to you, bad news to your enemy. You had to gather geological stratums in order to get an item. Is it Poo Poo? That alien thing that's in 8?
No.
I don't think that's it.
The Poo Poo is not a common staple in Final Fantasy though, is it?
Not really. I mean, it has showed up in a few of the different games.
Yeah.
I'm going to think on that one some more, but I'm going to put in Poo Poo for now.
Okay.
For the letter Q, I can only think of one thing, and in order to find this Q, we have to go to the swamps near Lindblum in Final Fantasy IX for the
Boom.
PSX? I think we already know the answer.
Yep. It's
Quinn.
Yep.
One of my favorite characters from 9.
All right. So for letter R, we visit the character who has no specific element or job assigned to them. You can go on a side quest involving this character. And oddly enough, the place where the side quest takes place would be the name for another RPG character that would appear in only one game. Which character am I describing?
All right. It's not Renoa. It's not Realm.
Rosa?
It's not. The place you can go on a side quest with this character, and oddly enough, the place where the side quest takes place would be a name for another RPG character. I think it has to be Rosa because it wouldn't be.
All right, we can try that.
Wouldn't be Robo. I don't know.
Isn't
it could
Robo
be Realm,
from
I guess.
Robo is from Chrono Cross, I thought.
Chrono Trigger, I think.
Yeah,
but
we suck.
yeah, I don't think
Oh,
that
yeah,
makes
Chrono-
much sense. Okay, for the letter S, we go not only to the video game section, but also to the cinema. This letter S has had the privilege of being named the most powerful enemy in 2 games of the same series. However, the game they originally appeared, they were not named the most difficult enemy. Which deadly S am I talking about? To the cinema. Most powerful enemy in 2 games of the same series. I don't get how the cinema part relates.
I don't know.
I have no idea on this one.
Let's just pass.
Okay. 19. For T, we go to a spooky old castle to find one of the many residents that steals powers. Originally a helper, the character turned evil and closely resembles another helper. Who am I describing? Okay, so these are all Final Fantasy. The options are Triface, Tiamat, Tripoint, and Tella. All right, so spooky old castle. I bet it's talking about Ultimecia Castle.
Probably.
The character turned evil and closely resembles another helper. It's Tiamat, because remember that boss looked just like Bahamut in 8.
Yes.
So that makes sense. I'll let you read the next one.
All right. So for you, we can go to several locations. One version holds a weapon and flies, eventually stopping at an observatory. Another version holds a sword and contains a great force behind its own. Another version, it's just a shadow of another beast in a cavern in which the place is named after. What you am I describing? Ultimate Weapon?
Ultimecia. It's not. I think it is Ultima Weapon. Yes, because it says one version holds a weapon and flies, eventually stopping at an observatory. It eventually stops at Cosmo Canyon in 7. So that makes sense. Okay. 21.
Oh,
for the letter V, we find a character in a game with a famous title as RPGs go. However, the game that this character appears in does not actually reflect the normal factors of the game. In the beginning of the game, you get to play as this character's brother. What V am I describing? That's the options are Vaudi, Vaughn, Vivi, Vivian. That's Vaughn from 12. Yep. Okay. 22. For the letter W, we can go to several locations. In Animal Crossing and Animal Crossing Wild World, how is that an RPG? A certain animal named Wendell will either give you wallpaper or design if you feed him. What type of animal is Wendell? Lucky for you, I know this. It's walrus.
Go for it. I was going to guess a walrus.
Yep. For the letter X, we go to a place known as the End of the World in Kingdom Hearts for the PS2. Actually, this X is the final boss of the game. What is the name of this X? So the options are Zigbar, Zimnus, Xehanort, and option 4 is what are you talking about? Ansem starts with an A.
Isn't it Ansem?
It is Ansem. He is the final boss of Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yay!
Although I do wonder if it's a trick question because, as you know, Ansem is just one version of Xehanort. So, but I'm going to go with Ansem.
All right. So for the letter Y, we see a different amount of people who come together to form one being. This being assaults his victims with tickling and mostly worries about his promotion. The being only excels in duplicating himself. It was forced to reveal his true form when confronted with a shark being. Who was this Y? Well, one, it's not Yuna.
Yeah, the options are Yaradovich, none of these, Yakra, or Yuna. And this is another Super Mario RPG question. The answer is Yaradovich, although he spelt it wrong. So I hope that's not a trick question. The final question, the last letter is Z, the kin of another creature who resides in a barren wasteland. When beating this creature's kin, one of your teammates leaves you temporarily to cultivate this land. The Z creature itself stopped production of a bridge. Who is this Z?
Well, it's not Zidane.
No. I doubt it's Zombie. It's not Zombone because that's a Mario RPG thing. So I guess it's Zombor. And Colin thinks he knows the answer to this S question we skipped up here. And he says it's Shinru, which makes sense because when Shinru appears, he's often the hardest enemy in a Final Fantasy, or one of the hardest anyway. But yeah, I think that's it. You ready to score ourselves here?
Let's set it. Let's go.
Okay, so question 1 about the PS2 RPG character. Apparently that has a connection to the 4th planet in our solar system. It's Orin. And 2 games so far, I guess that would make sense. He is in 1 scene in 10-2.
Yeah.
Oh man, we didn't do as hard as I thought we did. Number 3, we answered a Cloud. The correct answer was Cloud Strife.
It said 1 word. We'll count that. That's ours.
Bullshit.
That's ours. We'll count that.
I guess I did get the one about the Deku's nut wrong in Ocarina of Time. It's Deku's seed, which is the slingshot. Although I'm pretty confident that the Deku nut works too. So I'm counting that one too. We got Thoughtful right. The answer about the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon thing was gummies. We got the Harpies right. We got Ifrit right. Jump right. Kyogre right. Yes. Luna right. That was a good guess. The Fable question about the guild guy, that was apparently Maze, not Mage. Nuge was correct. Ocarina of Time was correct. Poo Poo was wrong. It was Phoenix.
Oh, darn.
I guess that makes sense.
Phoenix down.
Thinking about it, yeah. Quina was right. Robo was the correct answer for the.
It was Chrono Trigger. That's what they were talking about. Damn.
Yeah, but the Genodome? Oh, okay. Yeah, I never would have remembered that. I don't remember the finer details of Chrono Trigger.
And Sage or Colin there got the answer wrong for the S.
Yeah, so I guess that would make sense because Sephiroth is the hardest enemy in a couple of the Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
So, T for Tiamat was good. Ultima Weapon for U was good. Vaughn for V was good. Walrus for W was good. And as I suspected,
right.
It was a trick question. Xehanort was the X. I think that's stupid. But the rest of them are right. Yardovich and Zombor. So we got 16 out of 25, which is 240 points. Is that a failing score, Rich?
I don't know.
I think
Probably.
if you count the ones that were stupid, we probably would have at least passed.
Yeah, I think so.
That was fun though.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to play this quiz yourself, I'll try to remember to put the link in the show notes. But I think that is it for our game. So let's close everything out here. All right. No tea time with Bill this week because he actually did record one for us, but then we switched the episode topics. So everybody can thank Jay and Jeff Keighley and Phil Spencer for that. So we're going to wrap up here. Rich, what are we? Well, you're not doing it, but tell us what me and Jay are doing.
I'm assuming it's the God of War 2018 review. That's what you guys are going to be talking about because I did not play it.
Oh, and I think Corey is going to try to be on the episode too. So
nice.
Yeah. So also JRPG July is still going on. I know it will be very close to the end of the month by the time most people hear this, but keep plowing on that. Remember to use the hashtag JRPG July and JRPG July years and tag the show on Twitter at RPG years, please.
Yes, do that. So the next thing is like we talked about earlier, the RPG Club. Start playing now. The game is Wild Arms.
Yes, Wild Arms. You have until August 9th to get to the Sand River, which is after you do the return to Port Timney. So do that.
Do it.
And help out the show. You can rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, whatever podcasting platform that you prefer, assuming as a review service, especially on Apple. It really helps out the show a lot, guys. It's like one of the top ways you can help the show be seen by more people, get more popular, and so on. But also, there is one more way that we would appreciate even more than a review. What is that, Rich?
That'd be that sweet, sweet, glorious Patreon. Early episode access, like we talked about, ad-free for the episode, aftercasts, where you hear us talk about random things that are passionate about, extra reviews, RPG Club, $5 gets you into that, so you can participate in that, and many, many more. You can find that at patreon.com/RPG After Years.
And just to be clear, RPG Club is for everyone. This is like a community event for everybody that listens to this podcast. It's just the patrons get to take part in the nomination and voting process as far as what game we're actually playing for the club.
Yes.
So another way you can interact with us is to go to the Discord. The link can be found in the show notes or on our pinned tweet on Twitter. Community is looking alive lately. We say it every week, but that place is starting to get like a really fun place to just hang out and chat with people.
I like it.
Yeah. Well, then you should be in there more, Rich.
I like looking in the back. I'm creepy.
Yeah, you are.
Sorry.
Speaking of Twitter, you can find the show at RPG Years, and you can find me at the Scott Spot.
You can find me at HaleBlue1569.
And you can find you can find Bill at Matunica with 2 N's, and you can find Jay, who is not here. What is it, JD Hizzle? Is that it?
Sure.
Number? Yeah,
I
JD
forget.
Hizzle. Yeah. So follow us there. We're all pretty active, especially me. All right, and that's about it. Thanks everyone for tuning in. One thing is for sure, there's lots of freaking news out there right now, and we've got a lot to be excited for coming up in the RPG world.
Yeah.
But with that, until next week, I'm Scott.
And I'm Rich.
We'll catch you guys next time for episode 26, the God of War review of the RPG After Years. Bye.
Bye.
I don't think that was bad at all.
No, it went pretty good. We had some listeners talking to us, except Bill. We don't really count him.
Yes, thanks